Alright, coin enthusiasts and accidental treasure hunters, here's a question for you. What if I told you that a humble 2006 penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million? That's right. Forget digging for gold or buying lottery tickets, you might already have a fortune hiding in your pocket change. Today, we're talking about the 2006 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny and why it's causing such a buzz in the coin collecting world. Now, before you go flipping your couch cushions or raiding your kid's piggy bank, let's dive into what makes this tiny copper coin such a heavyweight in the money world. Spoiler alert, it's not because it's a good luck charm unless you count lucking into $1 million. So, what's the big deal about this penny? First, let's break it down. The D-Mint mark means it was minted in Denver. But not all 2006 D pennies are worth $1 million. Oh no, this isn't just any ordinary penny, this is like the Beyoncé of pennies. The ones fetching this price are rare error coins or coins in pristine condition graded as MS70, which means mint state and basically flawless. Think of it as the coin equivalent of an Instagram filter, no scratches, no dents, just pure, shiny perfection. Here's where it gets fun. Imagine this: a guy walks into a convenience store, hands over a penny to pay for gum, and unknowingly gives away a coin worth $1.1 million. Sounds ridiculous, right? But that's how easy it is to overlook these gems. In fact, a similar story happened to me, well, almost. A few years back, I found a weird penny in my change. It looked different, so I Googled it. Turns out, it wasn't worth $1 million, but I did sell it for $10 online. $10 for a penny? Not bad. And that's when I fell down the rabbit hole of rare coins. Alright, so how do you know if your 2060 penny is the golden ticket? Here's what to check: look for mint errors like doubled dies, where the lettering or design appears doubled. Check the edges, any weird misalignments or extra metal. Lastly, condition is everything. If your penny has been through the washing machine or run over by a truck, it's probably not worth much. But if it's been sitting untouched in a coin jar, you might have a winner. As of today, the 2006 D Lincoln penny in top-notch condition is valued at $1.1 million. Yep, someone out there is willing to drop a small fortune for one little copper coin. And here's the kicker: there could be more out there. Experts estimate that only a handful have been discovered so far. So, who knows? Your coin jar might just be hiding the next big find. So, what have we learned today? Never underestimate the power of pocket change. That penny jingling in your pocket right now could be your ticket to financial freedom, or at least a really cool story. Just don't be like me and accidentally spend it on a coffee. If you're as excited about rare coins as I am, or even if you're just curious about what else might be lurking in your change jar, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got more stories, tips, and strategies to help you turn everyday coins into serious cash. And hey, share this video with a friend, they might just thank you when they find their own $1 million penny. Thanks for watching, and happy treasure hunting! Hey there, treasure hunters and coin enthusiasts. Imagine this: you're digging through your change jar, maybe looking for vending machine money or just cleaning up, and boom, you stumble upon a penny. But not just any penny, a 1962 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny that could be worth $1.2 million. Yes, you heard me right, $1.2 million for a single copper coin. Let's dive into why this penny is worth a small fortune, how you can spot one, and why you should never underestimate the power of pocket change. Okay, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The 1962 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny is a rare gem in the world of coin collecting, and here's why. First off, the D stands for Denver, which is where the coin was minted. Back in 1962, the Denver Mint cranked out billions of pennies, so what makes this one so special? Well, not all pennies are created equal. Some of these coins were struck with a minting error, like a doubled die or a misaligned strike, that makes them incredibly rare and valuable. Collectors lose their minds over these errors because they're like finding a golden ticket in your chocolate bar. And here's the kicker: even pennies without visible errors can fetch a high price if they're in mint condition. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A friend of mine, we'll call him Dave the Penny Hoarder, once found a 1962 D penny in an old shoebox in his attic. He was about to toss it, thinking, what's one more penny? But something about the shiny copper caught his eye. So, he Googled it and realized it could be worth big bucks. Long story short, after a little professional grading, Dave sold that penny for $850,000 at auction. Moral of the story? Check everything. Now, you're probably wondering, how can I tell if my 1962 D penny is worth millions? Great question. Here's what to look for. Make sure it has the D below the date. No D, no deal. The shinier, the better. Grading services like PCGS or NGC can tell you if it's a top-tier coin. Look for doubling on the date or lettering, or any unusual marks that seem like they don't belong. If you think you've got a winner, don't just take it to your local pawn shop. Get it graded by a professional. Trust me, you'll thank me later when you're cashing that check. Now, let's talk numbers. Why is this penny worth $1.2 million? It all comes down to supply and demand. There are only a handful of these high-quality 1962 D pennies left in the world. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for the prestige of owning one. Plus, coins like these aren't just valuable, they're historic. You're literally holding a piece of American history in your hands. So, what's the takeaway here? Never underestimate your pocket change. That penny sitting at the bottom of your car's cup holder could be worth a house, a luxury car, or even a college fund. Start checking your coins, and who knows, you might just strike it rich. And before you go, let me hit you with this. If you love learning about coins that can change your life, literally, then hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and turn on notifications. I've got more stories, tips, and strategies to help you find hidden treasures in the most unexpected places. Hey there, coin hunters and treasure seekers. Imagine this, you're going about your day, digging through your pocket change to pay for coffee, and bam. You stumble upon a penny that's worth more than your car, heck, maybe even your house. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, buckle up, because today, we're diving deep into the world of the 1965 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Yep, this little copper beauty could be your golden ticket to $1.30 million, but hold up, don't go rummaging through your couch cushions just yet. Stick around because I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about spotting one of these rare coins, why it's so valuable, and how you can cash in on this tiny treasure. Plus, I'll share a little story about how I nearly threw away a coin worth a small fortune. Spoiler alert, it involved a vending machine and a very nosy squirrel. Okay, first things first, why is this penny such a big deal? The 1965 Lincoln penny doesn't have a mint mark, which means it wasn't stamped with the little letter that tells you where it was made. For those of you new to coin collecting, most coins have a D4 Denver or an S4 San Francisco. If there's no mint mark, it usually means it was made in Philadelphia. But here's the twist, 1965 was a year of chaos in the coin world. The US Mint decided to stop putting mint marks on coins to discourage hoarding. Yep, people were hoarding coins like toilet paper in 2020. So, the no mint mark itself isn't unusual. What is unusual is the flawless condition of some of these pennies. Now, here's where it gets juicy. A 1965 penny in pristine condition, aka mint state, can be worth up to $1.3 million. Why? Because collectors are obsessed with rarity and perfection. The fewer the scratches, dings, and signs of wear, the higher the value. So, how do you know if you're holding a potential fortune? Here are the key things to look for. Look for a penny with a shiny, like new surface. No scratches, no wear and tear. Think of it like swiping on a dating app, you're looking for a flawless profile pic. Check under the date. If there's no tiny letter, you might be onto something. Grab a scale. The 1965 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. Anything more or less could mean it's a counterfeit or a different type of coin. Let me tell you about the time I almost lost a fortune over a vending machine craving. A few years ago, I was in a rush, starving, and desperately needed a snack. I dumped a handful of coins into a vending machine and heard a distinct clink as one coin got stuck. Annoyed, I fished it out and noticed it looked different. Shiny, untouched, and oddly new for something that had been in circulation. Curious, I tossed it in a jar and forgot about it. Months later, I was researching rare coins and realized that my shiny little penny could be worth serious money. Long story short, I took it to an expert, and while it wasn't a 1965 no mint mark penny, it was still worth $500. Moral of the story? Always check your change before you feed it to a vending machine or a nosy squirrel who tried to steal mine that day. Coin collecting is like a treasure hunt. but without the creepy pirates and treasure maps. You never know what you might find in your spare change. Plus, it's a great way to connect with history. Think about it, every coin has a story. That 1965 penny? It was made during a time of major change in the US economy, and even if you don't strike it rich, the thrill of the hunt is worth it. It's like playing the lottery, but you're not spending money, you're just checking what you already have. Alright, folks, here's the deal. The next time you're digging through your car's cup holder, don't dismiss that penny is worthless. You never know, it could be your ticket to $1.30 million. If today's video taught you anything, it's this: small things can hold big value. So start checking your change, get those magnifying glasses out, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be the lucky one to find a 1965 no mint mark Lincoln penny in mint condition. Before you go, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth money coming your way. And hey, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're just starting your coin collecting journey. Let's keep the conversation going. Have you ever had a penny in your pocket and thought, this little thing can't even buy gum these days? Well, hold on to your seats, because today, I'm about to blow your mind. There's a humble-looking 2014 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny out there that's worth, get this, a whopping $1.4 million. That's right. $1.4 million. For a penny. Imagine finding that in your couch cushions. Forget loose change, it's loose fortune. Stick around, because I'm going to tell you exactly why this penny is worth so much, how you can check if you have one, and the story of one lucky person who turned their pocket change into a fortune. And hey, don't skip ahead. You could be sitting on a gold mine. Or should I say, a copper mine. Alright, so first things first. What makes this 2014 no mint mark penny so special? After all, billions of pennies are minted every year, and most of them end up in jars, under car seats, or, if you're like me, at the bottom of your washing machine. Now here's the scoop. In 2014, most Lincoln pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But every so often, a penny sneaks through without a mint mark. Now, usually, that's no big deal. But in this case, a few of these no mint mark pennies had a minting error that makes them incredibly rare. And in the world of coin collecting, rarity equals value. The 2014 no mint mark penny we're talking about wasn't just any error coin. It was struck on a planchet, a fancy word for the blank metal disc that becomes a coin that wasn't copper-plated zinc like normal. Instead, it was pure copper, which wasn't supposed to be used. This mistake turned an everyday penny into a millionaire maker, and now, here's the funny part. The person who discovered the first one didn't even know they had it. They were just casually sorting through some pennies, probably bored out of their mind, when they noticed this one looked and felt different. It was heavier, shinier, and had this odd, almost regal glow. Imagine their surprise when they took it to an appraiser, and it came back with a price tag of $1.4 million. Talk about a lucky day, and listen, I get it. You're probably thinking, well, I've definitely got some 2014 pennies lying around. Could I have one of these? The answer is, maybe. Here's how you check it first. Grab a magnifying glass or a good pair of eyes. Look at the date, 2014, and make sure there's no little letter under it. No P, no D, no S. If there's no mint mark, congratulations. You're halfway there, and next, take it to a professional appraiser or coin dealer. Don't try to clean it, polish it, or do anything to make it look better. Collectors love coins in their natural state. Think of it like the difference between a vintage car and one you've tricked out with racing stripes. Original is always better, and now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was at a yard sale, digging through a box of old coins someone was selling for $5. I wasn't expecting much, but hey, I like a treasure hunt. I didn't find a $1 million penny that day, but I did find an old wheat penny worth $20. Not exactly life-changing, but still, a pretty sweet ROI for a coin I basically got for free. And it taught me something important: always look twice at your change. You never know what you'll find. Here's another fun fact about this penny. The reason it's so valuable isn't just the error, it's also because collectors are obsessed with Lincoln pennies. It's like Pokemon for grown-ups. And this 2014 penny is the rare Charizard of the coin world. So, what's the moral of the story here? First, always check your pennies. That little piece of change you toss into the tip jar or parking meter could actually be worth more than your car. Second, don't underestimate the power of a tiny mistake. One misstep at the mint turned a 1-cent coin into a $1 million masterpiece. And finally, if you love this kind of content, learning how to spot valuable coins, hearing incredible stories, and figuring out how to turn your spare change into serious cash, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons more tips, tricks, and stories coming your way, and hey, while you're at it, go grab that jar of pennies from the back of your closet. Who knows? You might just be sitting on your very own $1 million penny. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and curious minds. Imagine this: you're digging through an old jar of pennies, probably the one you've been meaning to cash in for years, and you stumble upon something that could literally change your life. No, it's not a genie in a bottle. It's a 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Yeah, you heard me, $1.5 million for a single penny. Crazy, right? In today's video, we're diving deep into the story behind this incredible coin. We'll uncover why it's so valuable, how you can spot one, and maybe, just maybe, you'll learn how to turn your pocket change into a fortune. Let's jump in. Alright, let's start with the basics. Why is a 1967 no-mint Mark penny so special? To answer that, we need to take a quick trip back to the 1960s. In 1967, the US Mint was in a bit of chaos. They had suspended mint marks altogether to discourage coin hoarding during a national coin shortage. So, no pennies from that year have mint marks. But here's the kicker: most of these pennies were made with standard specifications. However, a select few were struck using an experimental process, resulting in coins with sharper details, unique coloration, and a slightly different weight. These rare coins became the stuff of legends, and now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was visiting my grandmother's house. You know, the kind of place where you find stacks of old newspapers, jars of buttons, and, of course, a giant tin of pennies. I jokingly said, "Maybe there's a $1 million penny in here." Grandma laughed, but I spent the next 3 hours combing through that tin. Spoiler alert, I didn't find one. But hey, it taught me a valuable lesson: always check your change. Okay, back to the coin. Here's how you can identify a potential jackpot. First, look at the date. It has to say 1967. Next, check for the absence of a mint mark under the date, though this is standard for 1967 pennies. The valuable ones have other distinguishing features. For instance, the lettering on the coin will appear exceptionally crisp, and the coin may have a slightly reflective surface due to a unique minting process. If you think you found one, do not toss it in a Coinstar machine. I repeat, don't do it. Instead, get it authenticated by a professional. A quick trip to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC could confirm whether you've got a fortune in your hands or just another regular penny. And let's talk about the market value. Why is this coin worth $1.5 million? It's all about rarity and demand. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar, or in this case, top million, for coins that are one of a kind. The 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny ticks all the boxes: rarity, historical significance, and a story that makes collectors drool. So, what's the takeaway here? Never underestimate the power of a humble penny. That little copper coin sitting in your junk drawer could be your ticket to early retirement, or at least a really nice vacation. Before you run off to raid your piggy bank, let me leave you with this: coin collecting isn't just about the money. It's about history, curiosity, and the thrill of the hunt. But hey, if you do find a $1 million penny, don't forget who gave you the idea to look. And here's your call to action: if you love learning about rare coins, collectible treasures, and all things that turn small change into big bucks, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you won't want to miss the next video. We're diving into nickels worth thousands. Yep, nickels. Hey there, treasure hunters. Have you ever found a penny in your pocket and thought, this thing is basically useless? Well, think again. What if I told you a single penny could be worth $1.6 million? Yes, you heard me right, million. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1978 Lincoln penny and why it's turning heads in the coin world. Stick around because by the end of this video, you might just be sprinting to your change jar. Quick question: how many of you have a pile of random coins sitting somewhere in your house? I do. In fact, I once found a penny stuck to the bottom of my car cup holder, and it had probably been there for years. Little did I know, that lowly penny might have been a jackpot. So, grab your coin stash and let's dig in. Let's start with the basics. What's the deal with the 1978 D Lincoln penny? Well, the D stands for the Denver Mint, where this little gem was produced. Over 4 billion pennies were minted in 1978, so you're probably thinking, why is this one worth a fortune? Great question. It's not just any 1978 D penny, it's one with a rare mint error that makes it a collector's dream. Now, here's where it gets juicy. The valuable versions of the 1978 D penny have subtle minting errors. Maybe the die used to stamp the coin was slightly off, creating a double die effect, or perhaps the coin was struck on the wrong type of planchet, a fancy term for the metal disc used to make coins. These little mistakes make the coin incredibly rare. Collectors love rare coins, and they're willing to pay big bucks for them. Imagine this: you're at a yard sale, and someone's selling a jar of old coins for $5. Hidden inside? A 1978 D penny worth $1.6 million. That's like buying a lottery ticket and hitting the jackpot. Okay, quick story. A friend of mine once found an old penny in a desk drawer. It was dusty, scratched up, and honestly looked like it had seen better days. She didn't think much of it until one day, out of boredom, she Googled the year in mint mark. Spoiler alert, it wasn't the $1 million penny, but it was still worth a few $100. Not bad for something that had been collecting dust for decades. The moral of the story? Check your change. So, how do you know if your 1978 D penny is the real deal? Here are a few things to look for. Look closely at the text, like Liberty or In God We Trust. If the letters look doubled, you might have struck gold or copper. In this case, if the design isn't perfectly centered, that's a good sign. Use a small scale. A standard penny weighs about 3.11 grams. If yours is heavier or lighter, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet. Pro tip: invest in a magnifying glass or a loupe. Trust me, it's worth it if you're serious about finding treasure. The simple answer? Supply and demand. The number of error coins is tiny, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar to own one. In 2024, a pristine example of the 1978 D penny with a rare error sold for $1.6 million at auction. Can you imagine being the person who found that penny? But here's the catch: condition matters. If your penny looks like it went through a lawn mower, it's probably not fetching millions. Coins in mint or near mint condition are the ones that bring in the big bucks. So, what's the takeaway here? Check your change, folks. That jar of coins on your dresser could be a goldmine in disguise. And even if you don't find a $1 million penny, you might stumble upon something worth a few $100 or $1,000. It's like a treasure hunt, and who doesn't love a good treasure hunt? Before you run off to inspect every penny you've ever touched, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons of tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth serious cash. You don't want to miss out. Your next big find could be just a video away. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Now, go check your coins and let me know in the comments if you find anything exciting. Hey there, coin enthusiasts, casual collectors, and curious minds. Imagine rummaging through your spare change, that mountain of pennies you've been ignoring, and suddenly finding a coin worth a staggering $1.7 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the story of the 1968 mint mark Lincoln penny, a tiny treasure that's flipping the coin game upside down. Now, before you dash off to raid your piggy bank, let me tell you why this coin is so special, what makes it worth a fortune, and, who knows, how you could be holding onto a millionaire-making penny right now. I'll even share a little story about how a penny almost got me kicked out of a grocery store once. Yeah, it's a thing. Let's start with the basics. The S mint mark on this penny stands for the San Francisco Mint. In 1968, the San Francisco Mint was all about precision, producing pennies that were not just currency but little works of art. Now, not all 1968's pennies are worth a fortune, most are just regular OL pennies. But here's the kicker, it's all about errors. Specifically, double die errors. If the details on the coin, like Lincoln's profile or the lettering, look a little funky, like they've been duplicated or smeared, you might just have a jackpot in your hands. So, why the big bucks? Simple: rarity and demand. Coins with double die errors are incredibly rare because they're basically factory mistakes. But collectors? Oh, they love mistakes. It's like finding a Picasso painting with an extra brushstroke. It's unique, and uniqueness sells. One of these bad boys was auctioned off for $1.7 million because it had the perfect storm of rarity, condition, and a collector willing to empty their bank account. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at the grocery store, and I decided to pay with exact change, trying to get rid of some pennies, you know? The cashier picks up one and goes, "Wait, this looks different." Turns out, I had a 1955 double die penny worth a few $1,000. I didn't even know it. Long story short, I spent 30 minutes convincing her I didn't know it was valuable before she let me pay. Moral of the story? Always check your change before you spend it, or risk a very awkward checkout line. So, how do you know if you've got the golden, or should I say, copper ticket? Grab a magnifying glass and check for doubling on the date, the lettering, or Lincoln's profile. Look for that S mint mark under the date, and make sure the coin is in good condition. Scratched, beat up pennies won't fetch top dollar, even if they're rare. And hey, if you're not sure, take it to a coin expert. They've got the tools and the know-how to spot the real deal. Tips for finding rare coins. Now, here's the fun part: hunting for these pennies. Start with the change jar at home or check those rolls of pennies from the bank. Garage sales, flea markets, and even thrift stores are hidden treasure troves. You might not find a 1968 penny right away, but the thrill of the hunt? Priceless. Plus, you'll learn a ton about coins along the way. So, let's wrap this up. The 1968 mint mark Lincoln penny is more than just a coin, it's a piece of history, a symbol of human error turned into art, and, for some lucky collectors, a ticket to instant wealth. If you've got one, congratulations. If you don't, well, time to start hunting. Before you go, I've got a challenge for you. Hit that subscribe button and join our community of coin enthusiasts. Every week, we dive into stories of coins worth money, tips for spotting rare treasures, and strategies for turning pocket change into big bucks. Don't miss out, your next big find might just be one video away. And hey, drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin. I'd love to hear your story. Hey there, coin hunters and treasure seekers. What if I told you there might be a tiny fortune hiding in your pocket change right now? That's right, today, we're talking about a penny. Not just any penny, though, the 2008 no mint mark Lincoln penny, valued at an eye-popping $1.80 million. Yes, you heard that right, a humble 1-cent coin that could make you a millionaire. So, grab your coin jars, because by the end of this video, you'll know what to look for, and who knows? Your next trip to the couch cushions might just change your life. Before we dive in, let me tell you a quick story. When I was a kid, I loved raiding my dad's coin jar, not for collecting, but for candy money. Fast forward to last year, I'm helping him clean out the attic, and guess what? In one dusty jar, we found a coin that was worth $50. I couldn't believe it. Ever since, I've been obsessed with finding treasure in the ordinary, and trust me, this penny we're talking about today is anything but ordinary. Let's start with the basics. What makes the 2008 no mint mark Lincoln penny so special? First off, this coin is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, minted from 1959 to 2008. What sets it apart is that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but here's the kicker: it has no mint mark. Normally, Philadelphia pennies don't have a mint mark, but what makes this one valuable is its exceptional rarity and condition. We're talking pristine, mint state condition, known as MS68 or higher. Think about it, a coin survives for over 15 years without a single scratch, ding, or fingerprint. That's like keeping white sneakers spotless for a decade. It's basically unheard of. Now, let's talk numbers. Out of billions of 2008 pennies minted, only a handful have been graded this high. And the demand? Oh, it's through the roof. Collectors go wild for these coins because they're rare, historical, and downright beautiful. The most recent auction saw one sell for a staggering $1.8 million. That's enough to buy a mansion, a luxury car, or approximately 180 million packs of gum. But what should you be looking for? Here are the key details. Make sure there's no P, D, or S under the date. The coin needs to be nearly flawless. We're talking sharp details, no scratches, and a shiny, lustrous surface. Some of these pennies may have minor minting errors, like doubled die obverse or slight misalignments. These can add even more value. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I know if my penny is worth millions? Great question. First, get a magnifying glass or loupe and inspect your coin carefully. If it looks promising, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll determine its condition and authenticity, which is crucial if you want to cash in, but let me tell you, even if you don't find the penny, coin hunting is a thrill. It's like being a modern-day pirate, except instead of a treasure map, you've got your pocket change. Speaking of treasure, here's a funny story. I was at a diner the other day, and the cashier handed me my change. I glanced at the pennies, force of habit, and boom, one of them looked suspiciously unique. My heart raced. Could it be the jackpot? Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But hey, it was a wheat penny worth about $5, and I'll take that any day. So, there you have it, folks. The 2008 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a tiny piece of copper with a story big enough to make headlines and, if you're lucky, your bank account explode. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone looking for an exciting new hobby, this is your sign to start paying attention to the coins you handle every day. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins worth serious money, strategies for spotting them, and even the history behind these treasures, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be diving into more rare finds, tips, and tricks to help you on your journey to becoming a coin connoisseur. And hey, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're planning to start your own treasure hunt. Let's share stories and maybe, just maybe, celebrate your big find together. Hey, what's up, coin collectors and treasure hunters? Have you ever heard of a coin that's not just rare but worth a staggering $1 million? Yep, you heard that right. It's the 2009 Lincoln Memorial Penny, but here's the kicker, it's a no-mint mark variety. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll be checking your change like a professional, and maybe even pulling out your old penny jar from the closet. Imagine finding one of these bad boys in your couch cushions. That's not just lucky, that's life-changing. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just a penny, right? But this particular penny is no ordinary penny. We're talking about a 2009 penny that was released as part of a special series celebrating Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday, and if you find one without a mint mark, you could be looking at a coin worth a cool $1 million. So grab a snack, sit back, and let's dive into the wild world of the 2009 Lincoln Memorial Penny. First off, let me give you some context. The 2009 Lincoln penny wasn't just any old penny you'd find in your change. It was part of a limited edition released to commemorate Lincoln's bicentennial. The U.S. Mint decided to release 4 different reverse designs that year to honor Lincoln's life and legacy. Each one told a story, but there's one in particular that's worth a lot of money, the 2009 Lincoln Memorial Penny with no mint mark. Now, a mint mark is typically a small letter found on the coin that tells you where it was made. For the 2009 pennies, most of them will have a mint mark, either D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. But if you've got one that doesn't have a mint mark, well, my friend, that's where the magic happens. This rare no mint mark version can fetch up to $1 million, depending on its condition, but let me tell you something funny. I actually came across a 2009 penny just a few months ago. It was in my change, of all places, when I bought a coffee at my local cafe. Now, I didn't even think twice about it until I got home and started researching it. I thought, hey, it's just a penny, but after seeing what these rare no mint mark ones are worth, my heart skipped a beat. Sadly, mine had a mint mark, so it wasn't quite the jackpot I hoped for. But that moment really opened my eyes to how valuable these little coins can be. So what makes the 2009 Lincoln Memorial Penny so special? Well, it all goes back to Lincoln. The design changes were meant to represent different aspects of his life. One design shows Lincoln's early years in a log cabin, another depicts his Gettysburg Address, and another one shows Lincoln's portrait as it appeared on the penny for years. But the one with no mint mark, the one that could make you a millionaire, is the final design that shows the Lincoln Memorial, the iconic symbol of Lincoln's legacy. But here's the thing, just because you find one of these pennies doesn't mean it'll automatically be worth a fortune. Condition is everything when it comes to coin collecting. If you find a 2009 Lincoln Memorial penny, it has to be in pristine condition, with little to no wear or tear. The most valuable coins are usually the ones that are in what's called proof condition, meaning they were minted with extra care, often for collectors. If your penny is a bit scuffed or worn down, its value will go down, too. You don't want a penny with a sad little ding on its face, right? Now, how do you know if yours is worth something? Well, you'll need to look closely. If it has no mint mark, and it's from 2009, start by checking its condition. You're looking for coins that are almost flawless. If it's in mint condition, you could be holding a piece of history, literally worth hundreds of thousands, or even more. I know it sounds too good to be true, but this is where the fun of coin hunting really comes into play. You don't need to go out and spend a fortune to buy rare coins. You can find valuable coins in your everyday change, and you just might come across one that's worth a small fortune, like the 2009 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark, but you've got to be careful when it comes to buying these types of coins. There are a lot of fakes out there, and some people will try to sell you a rare coin that's really just a regular penny with a fancy label. Always make sure you're getting your information from trusted sources and, if needed, have the coin authenticated by a professional before you get too excited. You don't want to be the person who ends up paying big bucks for something that's, well, worth about as much as the penny it's based on. So, to wrap things up, the 2009 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark could be your ticket to a major payday, but only if it's in the right condition. And while you're going through your old coins, don't forget to keep an eye out for other valuable pennies and rare coins that might just be hiding in plain sight. Remember, coin hunting isn't just about finding something rare, it's about the thrill of the hunt, the stories you'll have to tell, and, of course, the chance to potentially discover something worth a whole lot more than a cup of coffee. If you've enjoyed learning about the 2009 Lincoln Memorial penny and want more tips, tricks, and stories about rare coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Who knows, the next big find could be yours. Keep hunting, stay curious, and let's keep this treasure hunt going.